April 2nd, 1989. That was the day my mama died in her sleep. She was 82 years old, and when she went quietly. No gasping, no reaching for help, no final words, just stillness, like someone had reached down in the dark and gently turned her off. My brother Benji found her first. He found her lying flat on her back in her bed, hands folded over her stomach, eyes closed, mouth relaxed. If you didn't know any better, you might have thought she was resting. He stood there for a long time before he understood what he was looking at. Benji was slow like that. Always had been. Mama used to say the Lord made him gentle so the world wouldn't break him. When it finally sank in, he screamed. I heard it from the other side of the house. A sound so raw and desperate it didn't even sound human. I ran down the hall and found him hunched over her body, slapping her chest with both hands, tears pouring down his face, his wide eyes red and panicked. "Wake up," he kept saying. "Please wake up, Mama. Please." He didn't understand what death meant. Not really. To him, people just left rooms and came back later. I grabbed his wrists and held him still, told him I'd call the doctor, told him everything was going to be all right. Then I sent him outside to wait in his garden. He obeyed, without question. After I made the call, I noticed the barn still needed cleaning. So I cleaned it. I worked until my hands hurt and my back screamed, because working was easier than thinking. It rained the day we buried her. Not the dramatic kind of rain you see in movies. Just a dull, gray drizzle that soaked into your clothes and made you feel miserable even under an umbrella. The sky hung low and heavy, like it was pressing down on the world. Benji didn't cry at the funeral. He'd already spent all his tears before the rain came, where everyone could see them. At the graveside, he just stared at the dirt, his lips trembling, his fingers clenched tight. After that day, he stopped talking entirely. 12 days passed without a single word from him. He ate when I put food in front of him. He slept when it got dark. He tended his garden with quiet devotion, kneeling in the dirt, humming softly to himself. The plants grew fast, faster than they should have. On the evening of the 12th day, he finally looked up at me. "I'm gonna clean the barn tomorrow," he said. His voice sounded calm, peaceful, too peaceful. The next morning, I stepped out onto the porch with my coffee and a cigarette. The barn doors were open. They hadn't been open the night before. I crossed the yard, past Benji's garden. He'd planted it only days before Mama passed, and already the growth was thick and aggressive. Vines crawling over themselves, leaves dark and swollen with life. For all his faults, Benji had always had a green thumb. The barn smelled like hay, dried dung, and old timber. The wood came from forests that no longer existed, sold off by generations of my family. Strong, stiff wood, wood that lasted. Benji was hanging from it. His body was stiff as a board when I cut him down. He hit the hay with a dull, hollow sound, like a sack of flour being dropped. Dust exploded into the air, glowing in the morning light pouring through the open doors. I sneezed as I climbed down the ladder, the dust burning my eyes, making them water. I told myself the dust made me cry. I poured whiskey into my coffee while I waited for the ambulance. It took a long time. We lived far out, away from everything. Technically, the property had passed to Benji when Mama died. Now it was mine. Our old dog Lily pawed at my knee as I sat on the porch. She yawned wide, her yellowed canines sharp and uneven. Benji's teeth never did come in right. When the responders arrived, one of them asked why I'd cut him down. "I couldn't stand to leave him up there," I said. He told me it might look suspicious. I shrugged. It was far too late to care how anything looked. The police asked their questions, but they knew me. They knew Mama. And most importantly, they knew Benji. "Damn shame," the chief said, standing in the barn. I buried Benji beneath his garden. Some relatives argued he should be laid next to Mama. I refused. I wouldn't do that to her. That year was the biggest harvest Oak Ridge Farms had ever seen. Wheat taller than a man, heads full and heavy. I paid off all the funeral expenses and still had money left over. People said the bread made from our wheat was the best they'd ever tasted. But whenever I ate it, all I tasted was ash. The cattle started giving birth to twins, then triplets, every calf strong, healthy, impossible. The vet said he'd never seen anything like it. People paid whatever we asked for the meat, but whenever I ate it, no matter how well it was cooked, all I tasted was blood, raw flesh, copper on my tongue. The garden grew worse. No matter how much I trimmed it back, it spread. Patty loved it. She said Benji was still helping us, even from the grave. She said she wished she could have met him. I couldn't eat any of it. The tomatoes burst in my mouth like pimples. The cucumbers cracked between my teeth like bone. I survived on fast food, eaten in secret, ashamed. On the anniversary of Benji's death, I couldn't keep Patty's meal down. I stumbled onto the porch and vomited onto his grave. That's when I saw the roses. They were massive, lavender, blooming as I watched. Their smell hit me all at once. Rot, decay, memory. They reached for me, thorns creeping closer, petals brushing my skin. I knew I deserved it. It was always supposed to be my farm. What choice had she left me? I waited to die, but death never came. The roses pulled back, scratching me as they retreated, and from the garden I heard a voice, soft, loving. I love you, Bubba. I still can't eat the food, but I don't care anymore, because some things don't die, they grow.